My name is Isabella Reid, and the gala night that set me free unfolded on a crisp autumn evening in Brisbane, in a grand ballroom shimmering with chandeliers, as my so-called best friend, Chloe, raised a glass to toast my new role as creative director while her words carried a venom I couldn't ignore. To Isabella, who somehow landed the top spot, she said, her smile tight, her tone dripping with sarcasm that made the room shift uncomfortably. For years, I'd overlooked her subtle jabs, her habit of stealing my ideas, and her knack for dimming my achievements while keeping me tethered to her side. But that night, as her toast hung in the air and my chest tightened with rage, I saw her true colors. She wasn't my ally. She was my shadow, and I'd been too loyal to notice. When I turned her own tactics against her, unveiling her deceit to the very crowd she'd invited to impress, I didn't just shatter her night. I broke the chains of a decade-long friendship that had held me back. I grew up in a bustling Brisbane suburb, the middle child in a family that valued harmony over honesty. My parents, both teachers, instilled in me a sense of duty, to be kind, to support others, to cherish friendships. "You've got a heart of gold, Izzy," Dad would say, his voice warm with pride. I carried that into my 20s, carving out a career as a graphic designer at a thriving ad agency. I loved the creativity, crafting logos, pitching campaigns, watching my work light up billboards. My little flat, filled with art and succulents, was my haven, a testament to years of hustle and heart. I met Chloe at a design workshop in my early 20s, a whirlwind of confidence and flair. She was studying branding, always dressed in bold colors, her laugh filling every room. We clicked over late-night brainstorming, dreaming of dominating Brisbane's creative scene. She dubbed me her soul sister, and I believed it. We shared an apartment after uni, splitting bills, hosting brunches, plotting our futures. I thought we were a team, until the cracks began to show. Chloe had a talent for eclipsing me while feigning support. When I won a local design award, she'd say, "That's great, Izzy. Must be nice to have beginner's luck." When I secured a big client, she'd quip, "You're so lucky they liked your style. I'd have to work twice as hard." Her words felt like praise, but they chipped away at me, sowing insecurity. I shrugged it off, convinced I was overreacting. Friends don't hurt each other, do they? But they did. Chloe would borrow my sketches for her pitches, presenting them as her own with a casual, "I tweaked your idea a bit." She'd drag me to networking events, then monopolize conversations, leaving me to fade into the background. When I started dating my partner, Noah, she'd flirt with him, laughing it off as just fun. I'd call her out softly and she'd tear up saying, "I'd never betray you, Izzy. You're my rock." I'd forgive her, clinging to the friendship we'd built, desperate to see the good in her. The creative director role was my breakthrough. I'd poured everything into it. Weekends refining portfolios, late nights perfecting pitches, proving my worth to the agency. When I told Chloe, expecting celebration, she hugged me, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Wow, creative director? You've really climbed, huh?" she said, her voice edged with something bitter. Later, I caught her texting a mutual friend. "Izzy's new job? Total fluke. She's not that good." My stomach churned, but I stayed silent, thinking loyalty meant overlooking her flaws. Chloe insisted on hosting a gala night to celebrate my promotion. I was wary, but she pressed, said it'd be exclusive, just close friends, Noah, and her new client, a high-profile ad exec. I relented, helped plan, even chipped in £150 for catering. The event was at her upscale apartment, with a polished table, dim lights, and a playlist I'd curated. I wore a navy dress, feeling proud yet uneasy. Chloe was in emerald green, commanding attention, her laugh cutting through the chatter. The night started smoothly, small talk, clinking glasses, friends toasting my success. Then came her speech. She stood, glass raised, and said, "To Isabella, who somehow landed the top spot. I mean, who knew our quiet Izzy had it in her." The room chuckled, assuming it was lighthearted, but I saw her smirk, her eyes flashing with envy. She continued, "She's always been the steady one, while some of us are still chasing the spotlight." The air thickened. Noah gripped my hand under the table, his face tense. I forced a smile, muttered, "Thanks, Chloe." But inside I was done. Her toast wasn't a tribute, it was a dagger. I didn't confront her then. I sat through the rest of the night, nodding, chatting, while my mind spun. Chloe had been undermining me for years, stealing my ideas, mocking my wins, sapping my confidence, all while cloaking it as friendship. I wouldn't let her tarnish this moment. I'd turn her own stage against her. I began plotting the next morning, my anger a steady flame. Chloe thrived on being the star. Her branding gigs, her social circle, her polished persona. She'd invited that exec to seal a deal, using my promotion to boost her image. I'd expose her in front of the people she needed to impress. I started with evidence. I sifted through old texts, emails, her Instagram. There were messages where she'd asked to borrow my campaign concepts, then pitch them as hers. Screenshots of her thanks, followed by client emails claiming credit. I found a group chat where she'd sneered at my role. Izzy's director? She's riding someone's coattails. I saved voicemails where she'd apologized for teasing about my work, her tone fake. I recorded fresh conversations too. I met her for lunch, let her talk, my phone hidden. "You're so lucky, Izzy," she'd say, her voice sour. "I'm still fighting for every job, and you just land it." Once she admitted, "I told my client I refined your last pitch. They ate it up." I smiled, said, "That's clever, Chloe," and kept recording. Her words mapped her jealousy, her betrayal. Pretending was the toughest part. I'd laugh at her quips, help with her dishes, play the loyal friend, while my heart raged. She thought I was still her Izzy, the one who'd absorb her barbs and stay quiet. She was mistaken. The perfect moment was her next networking dinner, a week later at her apartment for her clients, our friends, and that exec. She'd been buzzing about it, posting about her big break. I knew it was where her reputation shone brightest, where truth would strike hardest. I crafted a presentation, screenshots, texts, voicemails, a timeline of her deceit. I titled it "The Shadow of Friendship." I aimed to reveal her actions, not just to me, but to the trust she'd betrayed. I rehearsed my speech, keeping it steady but piercing, each word a liberation. I burned it onto a USB drive, tested it, ensured it was flawless. I confided in our friend Sam, who'd noticed Chloe's patterns. "She's always been jealous," Sam said, sharing a text where Chloe had mocked her freelance gigs. Another friend, Jake, admitted Chloe had borrowed his contacts without credit. Their support bolstered me. "Do it," Sam urged. "She's not worth your silence." The night before, I sat in my flat, the USB drive before me, imagining Chloe's face when the truth hit. I felt no fear, only resolve. The dinner was at Chloe's place, the table adorned with elegance, candles, crystal, a select crowd. She was radiant, schmoozing the exec, laughing with clients, her emerald dress a beacon. She hugged me, said, "Izzy, my rock," her voice loud. I smiled, replied, "Always," my USB concealed. Chloe had planned a slideshow to pitch her firm, projected in the living room. I'd helped set it up before, so I knew the system. During appetizers, I slipped to the projector, told the tech, a friend of hers, I had a surprise tribute. He nodded, "Let me swap the USB." My hands were calm, my focus sharp. Chloe launched her pitch after the main course, the room engaged, the exec attentive. She clicked through slides of her wins. My ideas, my work, her fabrications. When she paused for feedback, I stood, my pulse steady. "I have something to add," I said, taking the remote. Chloe grinned, expecting praise. I clicked and the screen flared. The shadow of friendship. The first slide showed a text. "Borrowed Izzy's concept for the pitch. They'll never notice." The room inhaled sharply. Chloe's smile vanished. "Izzy, what's this?" she stammered. I pressed on. "Chloe's been my best friend for 10 years, I said. "But she's also been my thief, taking my ideas, my credit, my light." I clicked, a group chat screenshot. "Izzy's director? She's a fluke." Murmurs rose, the exec's brow furrowing. I played an audio clip, her voice. "I told my client I refined Izzy's pitch." Sam's eyes widened, Jake nodded. I revealed more texts, emails, her mockery of my role, her stealing my work. "This is Chloe," I said. "She builds herself by breaking others." I closed with a photo of us at uni, smiling. "I trusted you," I said, meeting her gaze. But friendship isn't silence. Chloe lunged forward, voice cracking. This is a lie. Izzy, you're overreacting. But the room turned. The exec stood, walked out. Friends whispered, some glaring at her. I unplugged the USB, left the screen blazing, and exited, her cries fading. I crashed with Sam, my bags packed, ready for a new start. My phone buzzed, friends stunned, supportive, Noah proud. Chloe left a voicemail weeping. You've destroyed me, Izzy. Why? I saved it, didn't respond. She posted a vague Instagram plea about misunderstandings, but comments roasted her. You stole her work? Take responsibility, Chloe. Her client deal collapsed, the exec blacklisted her, and her network shrank. Our friends cut ties, her reputation in tatters. I thrived in my role, landing bold projects, growing my confidence. Noah and I planned a getaway, just us. Chloe moved to Perth chasing a fresh slate, but her posts are subdued, her charm dimmed. The gala night wasn't just about exposing Chloe. It was about freeing myself from a friendship that demanded my silence, my sacrifice. She thought she could keep me small, keep taking, because I was loyal. I proved to her, and to myself, that loyalty to my own worth comes first. I'm not her shadow anymore. I'm Isabella, and I shine on my own terms. If you enjoyed this revenge story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from.